Scott wants to know what other TCGs I have played. Actually, I got deep into the Star Trek Next Generation game back in the early mid-90s. My first exposure to Magic was in 94, but then shortly after I got exposed, I learned how to play the Next Gen game, and I was a big Star Trek Next Generation fan. So I actually kind of got deep into that, and it distracted me from Magic. Like, I'm sure I would have gone deep down their Magic rabbit hole, but then actually got pulled aside to Next Gen for a while. I have played a little bit of Hearthstone, but I'm not particularly competent at it beyond leveraging my Magic skills. I don't know the game very well. I've played Eternal, and I have, and those are the only really Magic style ones. You know, Keyforge I've gotten into as well. Haven't played the new set yet, but have a couple decks from that I want to do. But largely the problem for me with non-Magic TCGs is that they all look like they want to demand the mind space from me that Magic does, and I don't have room for a second game like that. So I feel like the games I tend to play are not so uncanny valley to Magic. I do like Magic inspired board games. Like, I love deck builders, Ascension, Dominion, all the various derivatives of the deck builder genre are really appealing to me in terms of tabletop. So that gives me a Magic style itch scratched there. And I also like the kind of roguelike Slay the Spire, what is it? Dungeoneering, the Guild of Dungeoneering. Anyway, there's a lot of video games that are kind of card battlers, so I like card battler video games as well. But as you can see, like the stuff I tend to really play a lot outside of Magic tends to be not so uncanny valley to Magic, because then I just feel like, well, why am I not just playing Magic? When I was with Wizards, was Eldraine part of my design portfolio? Oh, that was after my time, but mainly because of I left. Remember, I was at Wizards for 7 years. About the first 5 were in R&D, and about the last 2 were on the Arena team. But being on the Arena team left me way out of the loop on what R&D is doing. If I had been at R&D for my whole time at Wizards, I'm sure I would know some things about Eldraine. But because I was on the Arena team and we didn't need to know about that yet, it just wasn't on my radar at all. Stratic wonders if he is alone in getting a bit of a preachy vibe from Throne of Eldraine. Honestly, I haven't looked at it too much. Like, I don't know what you mean by preachy. I've only seen like 2 cards from it, but this is cute. Gingerbread cookie girl getting mad and vicious. Funny. He pointed out something else. So James says that the professor says that by something we may have lost is the expectation that we would be able to play with out of standard cards. But if we seed it with older modern staples, those will take over, at least if players want to be competitive. Well, I think that's a legitimate concern, but I'm not one to future trip. Like, show me the list. I mean, I know they've mentioned like Wormcoil Engine or whatever, but until I see a list of what those cards are, I'm not going to worry about that particular point. Scott was asking about other Richard Garfield games. I have played Netrunner. I mentioned Keyforge. I played Netrunner, but didn't get into it. It's too complex. It was complex, again, kind of complex in a Magic adjacent way. That's like, I don't want to get my brain around this game right now. I'm just gonna. So, Netrunner did not land with me, but I have played it. So, Stratic, you're feeling it's a bit preachy in terms of inclusivity. Well, I don't know if a story around inclusivity is preachy. If you find the message that inclusivity is good to be preachy, maybe you need to look inward and ask why such a message comes to you as preachy. I don't know. I just want, if it's good flavor and good gameplay, I'm in. And if you feel you're being preached to by that, I don't know. We all take in data from the world and run it through our filters. Oh, Star Wars Destiny. I didn't play Star Wars Destiny, but I did play the. I think it was it Decipher? Is that the name of the company that had a Star Wars game where you chose to play the light side or the dark side? Yeah. Eternal is great, but I just don't have room for Eternal. I can't put that into my head suitcase along with Magic.